one other thing that you had to navigate joining the show, being part of June's life, is this relationship with her children, with her daughters. We saw some of it last season. They weren't the most receptive off the bat. I think that's a nice way to put it. But were you surprised, or were you expecting it? And how did you kind of navigate that for both of you?
No, at first I really wasn't surprised, because I never felt any ill will towards them for feeling that way, because I understand that the track record in the past wasn't always the best. So that would scare me too, and you always want to keep that guard up and protect yourself over anybody else, because if you don't learn how to love yourself and protect yourself, then you can't love or protect anybody else. So I always want them to keep that guard up for themselves. And I think, that's what has helped move things forward now. And I hope it just continues to go forward in the progress that we've been making, because I feel like we've made really good progress.
Right.
I think we've seen the pictures of all of them at the wedding ceremony. So It does seem optimistic. Obviously, we'll see where it goes throughout the season and after.
Correct.
Yeah,
and
it is nice to see.
I had to remind people that when they watch our show, a lot of people think that it's live reality TV, and it's not. We started filming back in October of last year, and then as throughout the season, it airs all the way up until we finish production in April of this year.
Yeah.
When you are watching the show and you're seeing some of the things they're saying that you weren't there for, does it start new tension, or are you able to kind of have more conversations about it? Like, if you see Pumpkin saying she feels you prioritize the men in your life while speaking with her sisters, is that how does that affect you, I guess?
Well, I mean, like, as you see throughout the season, like, you'll see us working through that throughout the season, like, because those layers of onions are peeled back throughout the season. Yes. So literally, like, now would that bother me? No, because those layers throughout the season, you were going to see me pulled back. So if I watch it now, no, it's not going to bother me.
Yeah. So I'm the same way. Like she said, it was filmed, starting back in October of last year. So, and words don't hurt. People say things and act a certain way when they're mad, or they don't know you, or they're trying to be vindictive they could say something about me, but trying to hurt their mama at that time. You just can't. Like I said, I have to try to stay out of it and just be supportive when I can be, and show them that change, that, hey, I'm not like the other ones. I'm not just going to leave when it gets rough, or you can't say something bad to me and I'm just going to leave.
Right.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stick around. And I think that's really been the biggest thing for all of us, and that we helped us come together a little bit more.
And, specifically about that comment, obviously it sounds like we're going to see you guys hash it out throughout the season, but that does seem like an issue you've had for many years. And do you think you finally found a good place with that, where it comes to the priorities?
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Well, then I'm happy to see that. Obviously, another big part of last season and this upcoming one was Alana and, the rights, signing over parental rights. Just, are there regrets in that situation, or are there certain things you wish you would have handled differently? Because I know, for Pumpkin, she said, like, that seems like a big sticking point for her, that you maybe can't get back to where you ever were before because of that.
Honestly, like, I wish that I would have knew exactly what that paperwork said. But, as you see throughout the season, but also, when I finally knew what they said, some hurtful things were said, but also I didn't want to do any mudslinging in the courtroom, because I didn't want Alana just to hate myself or Pumpkin, and not to even have to work that relationship out or lose those relationships. So I really didn't want to go through a nasty ass court battle, because there could have been a lot of mudslinging go on with that court case.
Yeah, sometimes in life you have to learn how to pick your battles and which ones you want to fight.
Right.
And ultimately the end game is for her to be with her children again, just like it is for me to be with my children. And if that would have been a war that she would have fought, she could have ultimately lost her children forever. So it's like you got to pick and choose sometimes in life, even when you don't want to.
And, you know, we've seen the wedding pictures. We've seen, you know, even last week, the pictures of you with Alana before she went to prom. It seems like obviously it seems like you're a much more active presence right now. And how does that feel?
It does. It feels really good. You know, like we went to the prom, like, you know, they went to, like I said, the wedding. So, I mean, as people can see, you know, I mean, people can actually judge with everything, you know, they've seen us when the pictures with Anna being at chemo treatments also.
Yeah.
So, you know, everybody was at the wedding. So, you know, I'm sure people putting two and two together, you know, how the season will be going as it goes along.
Yeah. And I did want to ask about Anna, just how is she doing? How is the family dealing with everything? We're all wishing her the best, obviously.
You know, as I tell people, thank you for all the messages, all the thoughts, everything. We very much appreciate that, even though we don't able not to answer every single message
Of course.
back. It's too many for all of us to answer. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But she is doing pretty good. She had 2 rounds of chemo. She goes for a 3rd round next week. Then we get to talk to the doctor, seeing if the chemo actually is working. If it is, then we figure out what the plan is from here on out. If it's not, then we have to go back to the drawing board and see what the next steps is. She's just really sleepy. Her appetite is kind of going.
Yeah.
You know, she has her bad days. She has her good days. Just like anybody. I mean, like I tell people, if I can't sometimes process it, you know, as her mom, and some days I'm having emotional days, some days it's good days, some days it's bad days, you know, some days, you know, I just have to put on that smile. I can just imagine if that's the way with me, it's probably 10 times worse for her because she's having to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, the thoughts in her head are probably racing. But she gets on TikTok and shares that life with the world, and I love that. That she gets on there and kind of escapes for them couple hours and just hangs out and is able to forget it. She's lost all of her hair, and she's came to peace with that because now she'll take off the wig thing and, you know, kind of show everybody her bald ass head. And, you know, so she makes jokes about that on TikTok and stuff when she's live, but she don't make videos about it. She just goes live on TikTok.
Oh, I mean, I think that's, you know, it's commendable of her to share that journey.
Yeah. She just don't make
because it's hard.
She just goes live.
Yeah, it is.
And so there's some people that come in that have cancer too and are like, thank you for sharing your story, or, you know, they're come in and, you know, they're, you know, want to know what's happening, how she's feeling and stuff like that. So, you know, that's the way I tell people that's the easiest way to catch her is when she's live on TikTok.
Yeah.
When she's feeling good enough to get on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, lastly, I did want to ask about Alana's graduation coming up. Just how does it feel to know that she's a high school graduate? It as someone who has watched the show, I can't believe it, so I can only imagine for you.
Well, a lot of people can't imagine. Like when we say, "Oh, Alana's graduating," and they're like, "What?
Yeah.
What?"
Right, middle school, right?
It's like what? She's like, she's not 6 anymore. I cannot believe Alana's supposed to be 18. She graduates in 16 days, and we tell people like, hey, that's the last one of mine that's graduating. So I am very, very happy for her. We got a lot of graduations going on that week. You know, so she is ready to graduate. Like I said, she's got graduation that morning. Then we're gonna do a small like lunch thing just with the family and with the people who are showing up. She's got about 45 people showing up just for her.
Nice.
So yeah, and it's just people that have been in our life for 13 years, like old bodyguards, you know, our production team, you know, just people that have been in our lives for 13 years through this experience. So it's going to be nice that they're all coming back together just for her graduation that has watched her kind of like grow up.
That's exciting. You know, I wish the best for your family right now and, you know, everyone involved. You know, it's been a pleasure watching you guys throughout the years, and toofab is only hoping for the best for you all going forward. So.
Thank you
so much.